So in the last year on this channel we were talking a lot about the 10th house from the moon. But is it the whole story of the wealth? Is it showing everything we can hope for, or maybe there is another point totally not related which will also shows the wealth in the chart? So in this video we'll be talking about why we need this rule, how this differs from 10th from the moon, and how to analyze this in the chart. Before going there, let's think about why Sattva planets, Sun, Moon and Jupiter, are so important for wealth. Normally we would have this dichotomy that these intellectuals, they are or spiritual people, which are signified by Jupiter, right? The Jupiter is reflecting those wise brahmanas, people who are giving a knowledge, sharing their wisdom, and also the ethical life, the 9th and 12th. So the tales of Dharma and Moksha, of liberation, are basically distributed or blessed by Guru or Brihaspati or Jupiter in the chart. So this archetype is collecting all those features. And Jupiter is also a Dhana Karaka, which is related to the wealth. And this is all explained when we are talking about the Guna, because the creation is reflected by Rajas, by Brahma, and these are Mercury and Venus, and wealth is all about sustenance, and therefore Sun, Moon and Jupiter are the planets in the Sattva Guna, and Sattva is related to sustenance, and the controller of sustenance in the three Deva is Vishnu. So therefore Jupiter in the chart will show those wealth which is also coming from ability, from some specific, we could say, blessings of knowledge, and Moon will show regular income, and fourth from Sun will show those blessings which can activate the big wealth in our life. We have these three wealth planets. For the Jupiter, we are just seeing the first house from Jupiter. This is very important. This is where the Devata sits. This is where the blessings are coming. Now for the society type of blessing, this income, something we are getting from society. This is 10th house from the moon. And normally we would say for the Sun, we would see the 10th house from the Sun. This is also saying something, but what is more important for wealth, we need to see fourth from the Sun. This is where the Devata is sitting and is blessing us. So if we see the house, the Lord, the yogas in that place, then definitely it can give us information what type of wealth, where and when we can access these resources in our life. Imagine you are going to the doctor for the blood studies, and then instead of some 3 type of values, you only have 1, right? So our astrological analysis is also not complete if we are seeing only the 10th house from the moon. We need to see all the Devatas, all the Karakas, how they are giving us the blessings. So we need to see this Jupiter, we need to see 4th from Sun and 10th from the moon. So most important places for the wealth in the chart are 2nd and 11. And if they are not showing what they should show, then maybe see the Bhava chakra, or maybe if not, then go to the Nakshatra Lord. If not, then take the dispositor, or if that is also not working, dispositor of the Nakshatra Lord in the Bhava chakra. There must be, somehow it will fall in that house we expect. Just joking, let's see how the tradition is approaching the topic of wealth. For things like jewelry, we would expect Moon and Venus, and it's very tempting. In the chart of Serena Williams, we have a 10th from Moon Taurus, which is naturally lauded by these 2 planets, Moon and Venus. But that would be her main profession, main income. And Venus here, the Lord, is with Mercury in 7th house. Mercury showing the sports 7th house about competition. So this is reflecting that part of her life. But what about her side business? So it's quite counterintuitive in this example, because 4th from Sun, which is showing the wealth, the side business, is that Jupiter. And at the first sight in the 6th house with Sun and Saturn, it's nothing like that, right? Unless it's some kind of Jupiter which is healing people, right? The 6th house Saturn, or it's some form of maybe applying for resources for teaching. It's not really going into that business side, except we would have here Jupiter in the Chitra, because the symbol of a Chitra Nakshatra is the gem. So could we explain this in such situation? We would need to make more research. But we cannot forget, this yoga is between the moon and the Venus. So even if that would not be Chitra, we still have this Kartari of moon and Venus. Now, as a side note, Rahu and Mars in 4, I was thinking maybe some accident or some pulmonary disease, as this is what Rahu and Mars are usually giving, especially in the 4th house. And that is exactly her main health complaint, because she was suffering from this pulmonary disease, and this was related to the embolism, where the arteries in the lungs are blocked by blood clot, and this was life-threatening. It's a cause for her break in the career life. So it was quite important. This is also 12 from the moon. She had surgeries with the feet, and also there was a problem with the childbirth. The Rahu is 5th from Venus. So the one yoga, we see here this essentialism, this philosophical viewpoint, which is emerging, very closely related to Vedic astrology. Now we know that Serena Williams has her own jewelry line, and her products, which are, the prices are ranging from $300 to $10,000. So she is having that, and she's thinking about expanding it online, but that is already very much there, and we could definitely say this is a side business, this is a side wealth for her. Now in Jessica Simpson, she's not only doing the jewelry, there is a much more, and she is very also successful from that. She got $1 million side wealth from this, so definitely this is there, and this is like multinational international businesses going here and there. So we have this 9th and 10th lord together, Mercury and Moon. She's a Tula Lagna, so when these two are there joining or having other type of yoga, we are talking about Dharma Karmatipati yoga, which is very important. And she was collaborating with her mother. We see Lagna Lord in 8. There is this awareness of this inheritance, or other people in money are supporting, especially this Posador Moon is related to the yoga of Mercury and Moon. And Mercury Moon is a yoga for a shop selling something. And here it is related to the Sun, 11th Lord, and Sun Moon also are here related to gems and such resources. In the Dashamsa, if we add 1 minute, we have Moon in the 7th house. Mother is a business partner, and we have this yoga Moon and Venus also in the Dashamsa, very much present in the chart. She is also very much successful, so 9th and 10th from Arudha Lagna must be conjoined. These are Jupiter and Saturn, and they are in the 1st house. And this is interesting. Again, essentialism emerging. This yoga, which is supporting her fame and success, is also providing with some challenges when it comes to hearing, because according to many Shastras, if you have Jupiter and Saturn 11, it can cause some problems when it comes to hearing. And on the flight, she had these blood vessels which were causing a hearing problem, and she was not able to hear for some time. So this was also there accentuated in the life. But the yoga for a side wealth, again, very clearly defined in the chart. I got a few things more to share, but if you have found any value in this video, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and also be sure to subscribe, because we are sharing here many tools, many techniques related to Vedic astrology, so you don't want to miss them. Join the vibrant community on the Discord, you can find the link below. And now let's go back to the video. Now in Jon Bon Jovi chart, he was especially creating this line related to food. He has this GBG Soul Kitchen, Bon Jovi brand pasta sauce, also Arena Football League, and wines, and he also has his own label. So we would expect some Taurus coming. And 4th from Sun is Taurus, so we have this Venus and Moon related, and Arudha Lagna also needs to be related to that Moon to be able to work in that food sector. And 2 Arudha Lagnas are there in the Taurus, and we need to, of course, confirm this with the Shamsa, and there we need the Moon and Mars connection for food, because Moon is the food, Mars is the fire. So usually this is how we confirm this line. And 7th Lord is Moon, and it's only aspected by Mars. So that's the only yoga of Moon and Mars, showing that the business of food is also there confirmed in the Shamsa. So we have confirmed by Karaka level, 4th from Sun, Aruda level, and the Vargas, right? So we need to have those confirmation on many levels to be able to predict with clarity what's going on in the chart. Otherwise, because one yoga, one planet, and you may also have this complaint, you may feel as if the astrologer is trying to explain the life, right, with those signs, with those planets, with those astrological combinations as a form of justification, because this one thing can bring many objects, many things. So therefore, some people are talking about this astrological effect when we are trying to justify something. But this complaint is no more actual when we are going through many levels, because then some parts will not allow this to function, and then we will have different manifestation. So if we add more rules, more yogas, then from that more broader predictions we can eliminate those possibilities, and by this permutation thing we can make it more detailed, and also we can exclude other options which could be there present by this broad predictions we are starting with, right? So the more rules we are using, the more levels we have, we could exclude, and we can make the things more detailed and more clear. In the first chart, we have 4th from Sun, Jupiter in the Chitra Nakshatra, so the connection is through Chitra, but we have again Moon, Venus, Kartari, right? So it's still showing jewelry. For the Jessica Simpson, we have Mercury with the Moon in the 9th house with the 10th Lord. So there is a side business of having an international shop, something very, very big. And for John Bon Jovi, we have Taurus, and the Lord Moon is with Mars. Moon with Mars is yoga, repeating also in the Dashamsa. And Aruda is also in the Taurus, supporting that line more into the culinary direction. Interestingly, Srila Prabhupada translates the word Bhagavan as a entity, absolute entity, which is having in full measure 6 types of opulences. So we can study them. There's the intelligence, beauty, power, opulence, and so on. Fame is also there. So each of us will have some type of wealth, and the other word for wealth is dana. And we can also see how this dana is present in our life. What type of dana, what type of wealth we have. Maybe it's not always in the form of most obvious dana, which is cash or some type of physical resources. There's also something enigmatic in the Brihadarashara Hora Shastra. In that 2nd chapter, there is this approach, there is this attempt to not only qualify but also quantify. So there are some yogas which are bringing some level of money. So I think these rules are very hard, and I don't think we have approached them. They are very difficult to measure, because many people will ask. I've also had that in my consultations, that someone was trying to get answer, okay, but what level, right? So we can compare this to a family level, right? If you have a big Dana Yogas in the chart, then there is also this instruction of the Shastra to always say things with the Dasha, Kala, Patra, which is the according to place, time, and circumstances. So your karma is always relative to the place from which you are starting. So we can, for example, say, oh, you will be more wealthy than your parents if you have the good Dana Yogas in the chart. But what will be the level? But this is interesting. There is, because the Brihad Parashara Hora Shastra is giving us this attempt in the 2nd chapter. So I was always curious about these shlokas. What is the real philosophy behind it? How we can understand what is taught there. Also in your chart, check where is your sun, count 4 houses, see what yogas are there, which house is there, because the house will also say something. For example, many astrologers would have sun in the 5th because the wealth will come from 8, 4th from the 5th, and 8 is related to esotericism. And the Lord will definitely control the whole situation. You can see the Karaka, and of course you always need to take this plans to the Navamsha to judge the strand and also get additional information information how this can manifest, how this can come into your life, and also control the overall sustenance and presence of this wealth in your chart. So it's very important. I'm using this in my consultation, of course using a few other additional rules since I've learned it in the Parashara, and one that was taught by Pandit Sanjay Rath, and this is quite effective tool to provide us with information what can be the side business, what additional wealth is present in the chart. Sometimes it's business, sometimes it can be some inheritance, sometimes it can be even wealth from the spouse. So whatever additional wealth is there, this can be seen, and sometimes it can be discovered by the astrologer and given to the client, given to the querent, using this very valuable rule of fourth from the sun. And also we need to understand that this when this wealth is reduced to the cash, then it's more Mercury, right? We are talking then about a Kubera, and then this is the real greed of Rajas Guna, and this Vahana of Kubera is a human being. Therefore, we can say that this wealth can really control a human being's head, their consciousness. They can kill for wealth. They can basically, people can kill for either Venus or Mercury. This is interesting how this Mercury and Venus are influencing the moon. So it's said that there is some level of money which can give some satisfaction, which can give you some peace of mind, because that is, I would say, the biggest benefit of wealth, that it can provide you peace to be focused on higher values like art, philosophy, and so on, because it's very hard if you need to fight for the standard things. But above some level, it doesn't guarantee your success, and it brings more stress and something which will tempt you. And then after some time, if you are not careful, it can distract you from spiritual life or this Brahminical lifestyle. And then the person can waste many years in life and then can be woken up around 60 or 70. And then it could be too late for personal or spiritual development to meet the biggest existential event or crisis, which is the temporary Asat, right? Asat. Meeting with the Asat, realizing that we are temporary. Hey guys, so that's gonna be it for today. I hope you find this video interesting and informative. I hope this added a new layer of information when it comes to for career, life toolbox, and also how to investigate the wealth in the chart. So if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up. It really helps with the channel. If you'd like to have your own consultation, 90 minutes on Zoom, finding all those nice potentials, blocking the negatives, interpreting the Rashi, Navamsha, Dashamsa, seeing where is the problem in the chart, emphasizing the good sides of the chart, well, then hit me up with the email below and we can book that consultation for you. Thanks for watching till the end and being here with me on this channel, and if you would like to see a similar video, then please consider watching this one.